Now we will discuss the representation of the AC quantities. Up to now we have learned regarding AC quantities and their generation and their properties and the analysis. Now we will study the representation of AC quantities. An alternating quantity, AC quantity, may be or can be, we can say, can be represented by three forms. One is mathematical form, and second one is graphical representation or waveform representation, waveform simply, and third one is phasor or vector, both are more or less same, phasor or vector representation. Okay, these are the three ways by which we can represent AC quantities. Now we will discuss the first one, mathematical equation form. We already derived this thing, the EMF equation. We will take an example as EMF equation. EMF equal to Vm sin omega t. This is the representation. This is the mathematical representation. Mathematical representation. It may be in the form of, like, we can say I equal to Im sin omega t minus phi. This minus or plus or minus we can represent. This plus or minus quantities, these things can be due to the phase difference or due to the leading or lagging. Okay, leading or lagging by phi, right? Now the second one, waveform representation. Waveform representation. Now any alternative quantity represented by waveform representation, we already got it. In between two poles, by rotating a conductor, we already explained in the help of diagram. I already explained in the previous lecture. We will get sine wave, right? This is the waveform representation, representing in the form of wave. Waveform means definitely it will have some frequency and time period and amplitude, etc. Right? So for the waveform, we will discuss all these things. This is the waveform representation of the alternating quantities. Now the third one is phasor representation. The demonstration regarding phasor representation we have already checked with the previous lecture, in which we have a line of definite length rotating in counterclockwise direction at constant angular velocity. Such a rotating line is called phasor. I hope you got it. We have in demonstration we have one sinusoidal wave like this, and correspondingly we have rotation of a line, rotation of a line. The here we can get, so take it as a note, in the form of note we can make it as phasor. The AC quantities are AC sinusoidal quantities. Quantity may be voltage or current, can be represented by a line of definite length. Line of definite length, why? A line is having radius right here, radius is constant, so definite length it is. A line of definite length which corresponds to maximum quantity, definite length, rotating in counterclockwise direction. Counterclockwise direction at constant angular velocity. Constant angular velocity omega. Such a rotating line is called phasor. Such a rotating line is called phasor. Here the length of the line phasor is maximum value of the quantity, simple, and it should be on x-axis at the instant when alternating quantity is 0, and it must be increasing towards the rotation in the anti or counterclockwise direction. Now, addition of alternating quantities. The addition of alternating quantities, before going into the detail, we have some conditions. Only phasors of similar kind, only phasors of similar kind may be added. That means either all the currents are added or all the voltages are added, but not I and V. Not I and V, right? Now we have two methods to add the alternating quantities. What are the two methods? The first method is parallelogram method. And the second method is methods of components or method of component. Method of components. Let two currents be represented as I1 equal to Im1 sin omega t and I2 equal to Im2 sin omega t plus theta, and these two currents has to be added. So the addition of two phasors here, the phasor 1 is I1 and the phasor 2 is I2. From the law of parallelogram method, we know that the resultant phasor IR equal to I1 plus I2 here, and this IR can be, or simply the maximum value of resultant current will be vector sum of these two maximum currents. That means Im1 square plus Im2 square plus 2 Im1 Im2 cos theta, and also the phi equal to, or the tan phi equal to Im2 sin theta by Im1 plus Im2 cos theta. Okay, and that can be lead to phi equal to tan inverse of Im2 sin theta by Im1 plus Im2 cos theta. Okay, we know the phi value now. Then the instantaneous value of the resultant current is given by IR equal to I maximum R sin omega t plus phi. In general, it is plus or minus phi for addition of two phasor quantities. This method is the limitation of this method. The parallelogram method is applicable to only addition of two phasors. For the more than two phasors, it won't be applicable. Now the second method is method of components. It is very easy and easier than the previous method, and it can be applicable to more than two phasors, addition of more than two phasors. For suppose, let us consider, or let three currents be represented as I1 equal to Im1 sin omega t, I2 equal to Im2 sin omega t plus theta 1, I3 equal to Im3 sin omega t minus theta 2. This is just assumption. Let us assume. Okay. Here Im1, Im2 and Im3. These are maximum values of the corresponding currents. Corresponding I1, I2, I3 currents. Okay. Now, how can we add these three phasors? It is very simple. First, we have to resolve these AC quantities into coordinate quantities. Okay, these are in polar domain. We have to resolve these quantities into xy components, algebraic coordinate components, like im1, im2 and im3 are resolved into x and y components. How can we achieve these things? We will observe in the next slide. Suppose okay, here this is I1 and I2 is theta 1 degrees to with respect to I1. So that is I2, this is I1 and this is I3. This is theta 2, this is theta 1. Okay. Now we have to resolve these three quantities with respect to coordinate axis or coordinate domain. How can we achieve this thing? Just observe here. Suppose I have a phasor like this, O A. Just project this phasor into the x-axis and y-axis, right? And it is making an angle theta with the x-axis, right? So say suppose this is B and this is C. Observe triangle OAB, right? It is right angle triangular, perpendicular triangular. Okay, in the perpendicular triangle we know that hypotenuse square equal to, that means OA square equal to Pythagoras law, simply OA square equal to OB square plus AB square, and again cos theta equal to OB by OA. And what is OA? This is a phasor, right? So it is having a definite length of maximum value. Okay, so OB equal to OA cos theta. OB is what? This is x component. And similarly, we know that sin theta equal to AB by OA. And now AB equal to OA sin theta. Right? What is AB? This OB is x component. I x component of vector 1. So Ix1 equal to OA. That means I maximum cos theta. Similarly, AB can be written as Iy1 and I maximum, OA means I maximum sin theta. This is the way we have to resolve any AC quantity into x component and y component. Similarly, we can resolve those quantities. I1, I2 and I3. So we will get x components like here. We will get x components for im1 cos theta 1. Simply for im1 it is im1 and for im2 it is im2 cos theta 1. For I3 it is im3 cos theta 2. This is the sum of total x components ix. Similarly, sum of y component will be, this is 0 and this will be im2 sin theta 1 and this will be im3, this is minus im3 sin theta 2. Okay, so in this way we can summing up total y components and x components, and the resultant maximum current IR equal to square root of the sum of ix whole square plus sum of iy whole square. This is the resultant maximum current. And how can we get the phase relationship? That is phi equal to tan inverse of sum of y component iy by sum of x component. This is phi. And then we will get phi like this. So again we can write a resultant value IR equal to I maximum of resultant value sin omega t plus or minus phi, plus for leading, minus for lagging. Okay, this is the final derivation. And what is IR here? IR is sum of I1 plus I2 plus I3. Okay, now we will do problem based on this concept. Write down the problem. This is problem asked in the final exam in 2001. 3 currents I1 equal to 20 sin omega t, I2 equal to 15 sin omega t plus pi by 3, and I3 equal to 12 sin omega t plus 2 pi by 3 amperes flowing in a circuit, right? So calculate the resultant current and express it in sinusoidal form. Resultant current IR equal to how much? IR equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3, and that should be in sinusoidal form, omega t plus or minus 5. Answer should be in this form. We have to solve it. Very easy question, right? Here we have more than 2 quantities, so we have to follow method of components, the solution methodology by using method of components. For method of components, we have to resolve each AC quantity into x and y component, right? First we will observe for I1 maximum value im1 is 20 and theta 1 is 0 degrees, and for I2 equal to 15 sin omega t plus pi by 3. Here I maximum value equal to 15 and theta 2 will be pi by 3 means 60 degrees. And now for I3 represents maximum value equal to 12 and theta 3 will be 120 degrees. Okay, now resolving every AC quantity into x and y component, right? So first for I1 Ix1 equal to maximum value into cos theta 1, right? So Im1 cos theta 1, Im1 is 20, cos 0 is 1, so 20. Similarly, Iy1 equal to Im1 into sin theta 1. Im1 is 20, sin theta is, sin 0 is 0, so that is 0 for I2. Similarly for I2, Ix2 equal to Im2 cos theta 2, that equal to, what is Im2 here? 15, and theta is 60, so 15 cos 60, that is equal to 15 into 1 by 2, that is equal to 7.5. And Iy2 equal to Im2 sin theta 2, that equal to 15 sin 60, 15 into root 3 by 2, 15 sin 60, 15 into root 3 by 2, that equal to 0.866, okay, into 15. And next for I3, Ix3 will be Im3 cos theta 3. What is Im3? Maximum value of third current I3, 12 cos 120 degrees. 12 cos 120 degrees equal to 12 cos 180 minus 60 degrees, we can write, that equal to minus 12 cos 60, that equal to minus 12 into 1 by 2, that is minus 6, okay. And Iy3 will be Im3 sin theta 3, 12 sin 120 degrees, that can be written as sin 180 degrees minus 60 degrees, that equal to 12 sin 60, that is 12 into 0.866, okay. So now I am summing up to get the value of resultant current. We know that IR, that means maximum value of resultant current, equal to IMR equal to sum of Ix whole square plus sum of Iy whole square. So for this I need sum of Ix currents, that is 0 plus 7.5 plus 5 minus 6, that equal to 20 plus 7.5 minus 6 is equal to 21.5. Similarly, sum of y component currents Iy equal to 0 plus 15 into 0.866 plus 12 into 0.866, that equal to 23.282. Okay. Now resultant maximum current IMR equal to square root of 21.05 whole square plus 23.282 whole square, that equal to 31.76 amps. Now phi equal to tan inverse of sum of y components by sum of x components, that equal to tan inverse of 23.382 by or 282 by 21.5, that equal to how much? Phi equal to 47.4 degrees. So now resultant current I can write IR equal to IMR sin omega t plus phi, that equal to 31.76 sin omega t plus 47.4 degrees. Okay, this is the way we have to solve the problem in the addition of the phasor quantities.